Yeah, I just hope he
Renegasta Brown.
because I just showered.
You're set up for a disaster.
Does it say we're live? Well, it says we're live on here.
And we're live.
I don't see
Are we
any.
live?
We could just do "I'm Tony" as the intro now. No, I think we're.
I'm Tony.
Yeah, we're live.
I'm Tony. I'm Tony.
Jerry, this is all yours.
Hey, Jerry.
Welcome, good evening, hello, salutations, everybody. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you everything Batman, Superman, in pop culture, and more to come. We still haven't figured out what's the more yet, but we're getting there, one episode at a time.
Well, the more is Tron, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
You're right. Bringing more people on. That's everything.
as usual, I'm Jerry, your Green Lantern from Ola, and I'm gonna go this way.
What's up? I'm Matt from Gotham.
I'm pointing at Josh.
You're pointing at me.
oh man.
I am.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go. I'm fuck the pointing. I'm Josh from Metropolis. And this is Tawodi from my head. So
And then this guy, this squirrely dude.
well, I already said it.
Go ahead, Matt. You jumped the gun now. I'm pointing at you.
I'm just gonna sit here and just be depressed.
I'm so done with the pointing. The pointing only works like 1 out of 10 times, like very smoothly. That's about it.
We should all put ourselves back to like put us on normal settings so we can actually be pointing at the right direction.
I forgot to switch my settings. Yeah, there we go. We'll get it figured out.
No, looks like that looked like it was me and Jerry had a battle. Awesome.
Yes, I do have a bird. I have a bird on my head, yes.
As usual, this is our BS segment, Batman, Superman, or just anything relevant, current, or interesting bits of news. Anybody want to go first? I'll go first.
All right, you go first.
I want to say my thing, but I'm going to steal it from you.
You can go ahead and go because I actually have two things.
Okay. Was it Jerry sent me today? I hope it's not the one of the two things. He sent me a trailer for the time I got reincarnated as a slime movie that's dropping. That's coming on November 2020, 2022.
Yeah.
For us, it'd be 2023 in like January or February. But if it comes to theater. But yeah, that's gonna be picking up. I believe it's right after season 2, and it looks like it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for it. I still have to finish season 2, and I've seen a couple of spoilers, and I'm upset that I sat there and looked at them because I'm like, I know where this is from. Why am I doing this to myself?
A Dugan.
That's one of them. Shut up.
That's like my favorite scene at the end of season 2. That's like my favorite thing. It has my two favorite characters in it.
So I actually have two bits of news. So I guess I'll start with the one I can just get through the fastest. So earlier today, I've seen people just talking and, getting kind of hype for Netflix doing a Bioshock movie or series.
Yes. I remember that. Yep. I don't know.
And I was like,
that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool because I still haven't watched Netflix's version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I heard it was good and, kind of funny. Which I'm like, it's Netflix, so it's going to be kind of goofy anyway.
I just got told it's bad.
And then, so I actually saw the Uncharted movie with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland last weekend.
You poor soul.
And The movie was good. I'm not gonna get super into it in case anybody does want to watch it. The movie was good. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this: Mark Wahlberg is not Victor Sullivan, and Tom Holland is too babyface and straight of an arrow to be Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that's kind of what I saw coming anyway.
The female actors that they cast were very good. They definitely stole the show.
We got a smudge on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Smudge on the screen.
Green slime or
But
something.
you're saying the females stole stole it? Like that's the one thing I actually enjoy in movies when they have like a bad male cast and the females actually are better, like super way better than usual because they like to write a lot of female roles really stupidly and don't give them. Where's he going?
I don't know. Just don't address him. Just keep talking.
Going. Like where I was going is like a lot of times when they do like some we were discussing at work, like they write female like a whole female cast movie and it doesn't do good because they overly do the movie instead of just thinking because they overdo it because they have a female cast, they overdo it and they just don't think of just making a regular movie and just giving them standard things. What's he doing now? But when they do
he's chilling on the camera. There's nothing.
I'm happy that this worked out.
Matt, did you see the movie? Did you see Uncharted?
No, I haven't seen. I was waiting for somebody in our friend group to see it, and Trinia said she saw it, and then Jerry went again with Trinia. Oh, wait, did you?
I went by myself.
Oh, you went by yourself.
You went.
So
Oh,
now I have two people that have seen it. So I'm like, it kind of has like some promise now. So why not?
I'll say it like this: they had the dad Antonio Banderas from Spy Kids in there. He did very good for the scenes he was in. But definitely overall, I did enjoy the movie. You know, plus and minus a few critiques that I'll save for later if we do decide to talk about Uncharted.
you guys can
overall,
talk about it. I probably won't watch it.
He's just saying fuck you, man. He ain't.
I might put him
this is
away.
my show. I'm reviewing.
Fine.
But
He's
that
getting
is
too
all
loose.
I had.
Oh,
Okay. So
your ass.
yeah, so I just want to address these comments. I want to say Taryn. Is it Taryn?
Oh, Torin. That's my older
Torrin.
brother.
Okay. Torrin.
Why am I
Okay.
not
Torrin.
seeing?
I'm sorry.
What's up, big bro?
Yeah. Yes, I do have a bird on my head. Well, I did. Now he's just on my camera. And Jesse asked if my bird even lifts, and his name's Tawodi. I just call him Burb. You just call him Bird. It's a lot easier. But his name's Tawodi. It means hawk in Cherokee. He just he's our mascot now. But I might put him away because he's eating my camera right now.
No, he's the show now.
I it's part of the intro because it's probably going to be past his bedtime. Yeah, I'm the weird bird guy. The thing I wanted
we had Tawodi on, he was absolutely priceless.
I mean, I don't know.
Now he's just getting out of hand.
Okay, I have him. So
He's not biting you anymore. That's the good.
no, he's not. He's being a lot better, but he's being a lot more distracting to do the show. It's hard to do this show and figure out where this bird's going to be. The thing I wanted to say was, what the hell was the show called? Peacemaker. Peacemaker is very great. I highly recommend it. I think everyone should watch it. I don't want to give too much spoilers, but I want James Gunn to have the helm of the DC universe. I just think he should just take it and run with it. I give it a 9 out of 10. The whole overarching story. I did put a poll on our Instagram page, and the dispute if Deadpool or Vigilante is the better character, and sadly Deadpool won, but I think Vigilante's better. But that's all I have to say. Put him back on your head.
I 50-50 that. Like, that's the one thing. I do 50-50 that. But I got my dad watching. We still have to finish the last 2 episodes. But yeah, he's enjoying it. I thought he was gonna fucking hate it.
Crispy, your dad would totally love Peacemaker.
Yeah, no. I got him to watch it. No, I thought it was like a lot of like I was watching some spots. I'm like, it's really great, but then there's just gonna be things. My dad's just gonna be like, this is stupid. I don't care anymore. Like moments, but then he doesn't see him. He just has a smirk on, and he's just like, okay, I'm actually enjoying this. Every time the actual intro comes on, he says, and I'm like, what's that? And he's like,
just skip it.
Skip it. Skip the fucking thing. Just do it. I'm like, okay.
The intro's fun. I like how the intro like basically makes fun of itself, but like you only need to see the intro like maybe twice, and then you're good.
Once.
Jesse says on episode 3 of Peacemaker, undoubtedly some of the best DC live action material. I don't even remember what episode 3 was. I kind of just watched it in like big chunks. I think I watched the first 3 episodes.
3 is the episode when they actually go out there. I think the senator and everything in that one. And that's the one when Peacemaker has the breakdown to killing his like the kid, like the family.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And then that's when we actually get Vigilante. They'll be like, "All right, I'm just taking the shit." Like taking.
They actually show dead kids.
Jesus Christ!
They didn't show them getting shot, but they showed them dead on the living room floor. Or the kitchen floor.
The thing is, like, with you saying like James Gunn taking over this like DC universe, I want that too. But at the same time, I want to see what Matt Reeves does with the Batman, and see if we have, like.
This is its own universe. It's not connected with anything. You know, it's like basically Dark Knight, like how Batman's just its own thing. I don't think they're going to add any other characters to this, and then it gets too convoluted. I think they should just keep. You should keep it just one thing, you know, keep them separate.
I know, but like I just want to see
the Hawk hugging Peacemaker was epic. Yes. But just correction, he was an eagle. He's eagling the eagle. Yeah. I was watching the show with Towodi, and I was like, he has a bird. I have a bird too. Whoa, I'm so cool. You're not really.
Oh my, that hurts me a little bit that you're trying to make. You're comparing yourself with John Cena.
Yeah, I gotta take some steroids to get some eagling the hawk. Yeah, I gotta take some steroids to get my arms like 5 times the size as they are now to reach that level.
Steroids and HGH.
Yeah, I was just looking at his arms. I'm like, holy shit! There's
like the part. There's like the part at the hospital. It looked like one arm was smaller. Like they tried to CGI it because he broke something in his like right or left. This is right or left side.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And one looks smaller than the other one. And I don't know if that's just the angle or is they did the try doing the CG. Oh my.
Oh, I just kind of eat it. All right.
Oh God.
Sorry. Eagly the eagle has descended.
Now.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll do I don't know, like a quick review of it. I mean, we're kind of doing it now, but maybe we could go more in depth next episode. But I give it a 9 out of 10. Do you guys finish it? You guys watch it?
Oh, I loved it.
Not yet. I haven't started yet.
Jerry, I recommend watching it, and then we'll get your thoughts for next episode or the following episode. It's kind of, it's a few episodes, so that'll be kind of.
Was it 8? It's 8 episodes, right? It's 8 hours. Yeah. Guarantee 8 hours.
9 episodes.
40 minutes. No.
I think it's 8. It was good. I highly recommend it. I think that's really all the BS I have. Do you guys want to officially announce your streaming live on the
Oh,
podcast
yes.
and actually tell people what you guys are doing?
Oh yeah. You want to save that for the end? We can save that for the end because we have another announcement at the end.
Well, let's just mention it now since we just mentioned it,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the
Okay.
bigger announcement later.
Okay, so basically, me and Jerry and the other guys that we play PlayStation with have discussed that we're going to do some live Twitch streaming of some games that we play together or solo games that we just enjoy playing. But we're just going to have commentary with like maybe all of us in the party or just us by ourselves, depending on how it goes. So
who's awake at the time?
True. And our name for the Twitch stream is the Fly Boys. That's an
With
inside
a zero
joke.
and a zero and a Z.
Oh, we had to. I
Zero
had
and
to.
Z.
It would not let me make a name without a number for some god awful reason.
Yeah, Twitch
Oh,
is
really?
really weird.
Twitch
Like,
is stupid. It was like a
I didn't
stupid
know that.
setup.
Okay.
So yeah, so with the Fly Boys, inside joke is our group is just a group in GTA likes to fly a bunch of vehicles and just blow people up and do all our missions like in 5 seconds because we're just flying our cars and just
so
doing
it all
everything
started
fast.
because Matt has a fucking DeLorean, and I'm like, man, I want a fucking flying car.
Yeah,
That's
he
cool as
fucking-
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you got a jet bike.
I have 2 jet bikes.
Yeah, the Mach, whatever. What is it's not even a jet, it's a glider. It's a
It's
glider.
a jet bike.
You're Tremors 3. You're the fucking little freaking thing that farts and glides.
We don't talk about Tremors.
Oh god. Yeah, so that's basically how this all started with the name. But
We have a couple of videos. Nothing.
Okay, that's cool.
We're still working out a couple of kinks as far as scheduling and who's
Yeah.
going to play what game, but we have some good commentaries. A whole lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to join you guys sometime. I haven't even played anything in a while, so that's my bad.
The last thing we streamed was Borderlands Tiny Tina's what's it called? Tiny Tina's Wonderland something adventures. I can't. It's so
Yeah,
new to me. Actually, I don't have the title in my head. No, Bunker and Badasses.
Yeah, and they just turned it into a standalone.
It's a standalone, but they're actually trying to breach out with it. Actually, with another sequel to it called just Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and it's supposed to be like
supposed to be getting a new game. I think
in a
like
month.
August or September. It's soon.
I thought it was in a few months because everything's now coming out with like ever since it got the game for free on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Do you have to have
like
PS5 or whatever it's called?
And then I'm gonna do a quick shout out. My brother has a Twitch, BAW_Berserker. He does some really good stuff. I've watched a lot of his clips. I've watched some of his videos that he's uploaded on YouTube. He's really good streamer, really good gamer, has a lot of fun.
That's cool.
And if you guys want to check him out, go support my brother. Check him out. I'll probably drop his. I don't know how to drop the link in the description, but I'll probably post it on our Instagram.
We'll show it here on screen. It's right. It's right there. It's right there.
Wherever I don't know where it is on my screen, so I'm gonna just.
It comes in the corner there.
I don't know how it
It
looks.
doesn't show up on mine sometimes.
Why? I literally just start getting the feed of comments now. So
Bird is literally trying to rip the keys off my keyboard, so I'm trying to stop him from doing so.
Other than us sharing our new Twitch, what was it? I posted a thing speaking about Deadpool. This is the manga that came out like early this month. Early February. I keep forgetting we're in March now. This is the first volume. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. It's set in Japan. He becomes an Avenger, and a lot of shit's happening, and they're adding a lot of characters I wasn't expecting to this already. It's already like it's literally only like what was it 8? I think it's 7 chapters in the bonus manga they like to give you, and they already gave us like what 4 or 5, no 6 heroes that are side character, like pop in as side characters, but they're add to the story, and they give you 3 to 4 main villains already that you wouldn't expect in this freaking manga. It's kind of
I'm
neat.
definitely gonna
And
have to
Is
check.
that new? Is that like a new
this
series?
is new, actually. Yeah, new series. They give you a new Spider Woman. I assume she's a spider. She's like a Gwen Stacy Spider Man, the Spider Woman. But she's not Gwen
Spider-Gwen?
Stacy. She's a new what?
Spider Gwen.
Yeah, Spider Gwen. Like it takes her design, but makes it more like it takes her hoodie's design, but adds like some weird samurai like armor to it, and that's it.
Is it the same
And
color?
then-
Like the same color scheme? Or
It's in black and white. Basically, yeah, kind of away with the webbing. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a photo.
Is it a manga or is it just like
It's a
samurai?
manga. Yeah. No, it's a manga. It's
Manga or manga? What's the right way of saying?
It's I say both sometimes. So it's just however you pronounce it. Nobody's gonna really care.
We gotta have like authentic Japanese.
Like this is how you like meet her.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
and then we end up meeting somebody that's like the new host for Venom at the moment, because Venom has amnesia and was found in Japan.
And you gotta go get them.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And then they add other Avengers into the mix. I did send Jerry some of the bonus manga stuff, and it's just Deadpool and freaking Spider-Man just bullshitting.
So funny.
And due to this is brought to you by Shonen Jump. He keeps complaining that Shonen Jump is censoring him. So it's just a constant joke of him being not able to get that much.
Like breaking the fourth wall kind of thing. Okay.
Well, not breaking the fourth wall. He has standard rules. Now he can't really do that much killing, even though we've seen so many people actually in other mangas just get their murder a lot of people. So I think he's just being stupid with the whole. They're just being stupid with the whole thing.
So I since we posted this poll on Instagram, I just want to see all our thoughts on the character of Deadpool. Since Matt seems like he likes him the most out of us three, we'll save him for last. Jerry, what are you what do you think of Deadpool the character? Because you voted for Vigilante between the two characters, and I was just curious about that.
Okay. It's this. Don't get me wrong. I like Deadpool, but I hate Deadpool because people are just like, "Oh, Deadpool, let's just go to the fucking moon and back. Let's just get as crazy as we can because it's Deadpool. Let's not give him. Well, let me not say give him any flavor or context, because I saw somebody post a few panels from a comic book he's in where he talks a girl about to commit suicide down and gets her the help that she needs. Which I appreciate. I was like, that's cool, but I'm like, why?
Yeah. Okay.
Why not do kind of some more stuff like that? I mean, I'm not big in Deadpool, so I guess there might or might not be more of that. But I like Deadpool, but I hate how everybody just runs. They just run like they're a chicken with their head cut off with whatever he does.
Yeah,
It gets kind of annoying sometimes.
Oh, he's such a broken character. That's the problem.
He does get
He's a broken shell of a man.
They gave true, but no, they just give him more freedom. Like they give him more freedom because of what he does, and it's just like he doesn't get consequences until last minute, and he still figures it out because he can break the fourth wall.
Yeah. I kind of like how he can break the fourth wall. I do find him kind of irritating. I don't know. I like him and I don't like him at the same time, like Jerry was saying. I think it's just more how the fandom kind of runs with them. Like cosplayers get like annoying just purposefully, just because like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm Deadpool. I could just be fucking obnoxious and irritating, and that's what the character is. I'm like, no, I would at least like with the writing of the comics and stuff, it's pretty clever, and there's something to it, but once it runs away with the the audience, it just becomes whatever. Oh, so Dennis says Matt is starting to look like Bobby from Supernatural. I don't know what I don't know. I never seen
I
it.
haven't watched Supernatural in 10 years. I don't remember.
He's not the first person to say that to me. So
Now I'm gonna look it up. But I think Vigilante is like the best aspects of what Deadpool is, because he has like obviously a mental issue, and you like know that underlining like his quirks and stuff, that there's something else going on with his, him being obnoxious. It's not just like, I'm not obnoxious and everyone loves me. I'm obnoxious and like people think I'm a weirdo. And I feel like that is more realistic and it actually makes sense. And it's like funny to poke like fun at the character instead of like the character poking fun at everyone else. It's kind of like the inverse of that.
But the thing with the Deadpool thing is the thing is like I'm like, I like Vigilante and I like Deadpool. I enjoy both their characters. The thing is with Deadpool, I agree with all you guys' statements. What's wrong with him? Yes, but Deadpool, once he went through his transformation into Deadpool, his mind got fucking torn. So that's what made him this way. He was normal with a side of like dickery, of like humor, until he fucking got whatever happened to him and the weapon like X whatever freaking program shit they were doing to him. They mix his shit.
The Ryan Reynolds movie, I mean, I know that's not like an indication of the comic books, but the Ryan Reynolds movie, he was just the same like snarky asshole. And
yeah, it's different.
Gross.
Yeah. We gave Ryan Reynolds too much power with that one.
Yeah, we did. He suited. I'm not gonna lie, he is suited to be Deadpool in a way. Like he does have like the right to like ideas for it, but like he just took it he just jumped with it too much.
Yeah, I think that's more why I don't like Deadpool. I just find Ryan Reynolds annoying, and I see him and everything, and I want him to go away. I'm so sick of Ryan Reynolds. I don't need to see him in anything ever again. Yeah, he does. And what is it called? Mint?
It's called Mint Mobile. Right? I just saw an ad for that getting set up. I'm like, how the hell does he have a phone service? Yeah. I mean, that's cool because, that's a smart business move, but I'm like, why does he need a phone service?
I don't need to see him.
I want to see like the reviews on the service. Then I'll switch over. Maybe not just. No, but yeah, there's a reasoning to Mike Deadpool's mental technically he does have a mental disorder, but we didn't get that.
Yeah, but it's not like
movies.
I don't know.
It is because
it's not like poked fun of
the comics and everything else. He's always battling with like multiple personalities and all kinds of stuff that's happening. And
no, I get that. Like he has his inner voice.
The thing is, we don't see that in the movies or in certain things that happen that they try to bring Deadpool alive, and it's just like okay, like in this one they're doing like in this everything you see like if you read anything Deadpool you see it the best. Like in this you see it the most like good amount of times and you're like okay. They get slapped back in reality thanks to the freaking co-stars, and your bird just comes out. It's like a magic trick with you. That flies.
Before we get in, I just want to show Bobby. We're gonna see us for a second. So, wait, let me show my screen. Okay, I don't know why it's red, but
that's not Bobby. That's not Bobby. That's not.
Well, we're gonna say it's Bobby. That's Bobby.
That's the English. Was it vampire?
That's solely Bobby. No, that was him.
One-eyed English Welshman.
That's what Dennis was referring to. That was Bobby.
That's not Bobby.
Like that. And I think I agree with Dennis. I think he's right. I think that I totally agree with Dennis. That's totally Bobby, and that totally looks like Matt. And end of this discussion.
That's
you guys-
Bobby.
Oh,
Oh
you
yeah.
look more like the
That's
British
Bobby.
guy. I think you look more like the other guy. The guy,
Yeah.
the real Bobby we just showed. The real Bobby. That's
That's a
Not the
fake
real Bobby.
yeah. Benny Vampire Fro Louisiana.
Yes, Benny.
I missed the bird on the
Benny.
head. Well,
I thought he was British.
Benny Maru?
So no.
who's Benny? Is that the guy you just showed? Was that the guy you just showed, Matt? Was that Benny?
No. Benny was the guy you showed.
No, that was Bobby.
I showed you Bobby.
No, we showed you Bobby.
I hate you. I hate you.
It's time to move on.
Oh, I hate you so much. Dennis, you yell at that man. I'm done.
So, wrapping up BS, we will now be moving into the short. And for the short, I had everybody watch The Night Begins to Shine special from Teen Titans Go. And because I know who's going to hate it the most, Crispy, go ahead and give us a brief summary.
You. Okay, so everybody starts off this. Okay, I'm overdue with one of these anyway. So, okay, so quick as like snuff this. Everybody starts off the episodes, technically 2 episodes. They're all depressed and they don't know what to do, so they're all trying to cheer each other up. But fucking out of nowhere, Cyborg's like, you know what to do. And he plays with fucking like tries to like get everyone crazed up by playing, get him like wild up with his antics, and then they start playing this fucking music that sends him to another fucking dimension. The other dimension's like this awesome fucking cool world that actually makes Teen Titan Go like drawings look fucking better than they are. But you know, it doesn't stay forever. So it's more of an 80s filled dimension, and it's freaking pretty cool because you get to see all this like cameos of the 80s style, like any like shows and all that stuff in it. Out of nowhere, a fucking dragon shows up. Go up, bitch. I'm taking back my song. You took my song. I want my song back. Steals, knocks everyone out of the dimension. Cyborg's trying to fight him back a little bit. He captures Cyborg. Cyborg and him are doing an epic battle. Meanwhile, the guys are in this other, the normal universe, and trying to figure out what the fuck is that song because we got to get the song back. And so they end up finding CeeLo Green and Fall Out Boy. They both suck dick. So, so they, I don't know why they're even in this freaking episode. It's so stupid that not relevant at the time. So they're trying to figure out the song. They don't know what the song is. But Pete Wentz is like, I want to be in that universe though because I want to be a Transformer. So dumb. But so we jump forward. So Beastie Boy goes in his little emo mode. I got to go find myself. I got to do this other shit. I'm tired of life shit. And he ends up finding one of the 3 main people that actually took, I don't know how to describe it, made or stole one of the 2 of from the dragon. Was it made? Because the dragon keeps on saying they stole. So they keep he's one of the key musicians in the band called BER. So in BER, they have this like they made this epic song. So he ends up telling them what's happening. They end up taking Beast Boy ends up taking them back to the other guys.
I wish the Beastie Boys were in this fucking episode. I would have made it so much better.
I know. So and then Beast Boy took him back to the gang, and they're like, "Oh, look who I fucking found!" And he's like, "Oh, all right, who is this guy?" It's Billy. It's Billy. Nobody knew who the fuck Billy was until he takes off his fucking hat and lets his hair down. Like, oh, that's Billy, that guy. Oh, got it. And then they end up getting the other 2 guys they needed for the damn song and all this other shit. Then they go back to the dimension and they fight the dragon, and they end up bringing in CeeLo Green and the Fallout team, the Fall Out Boy team, to fight the dragon with them, and they end up winning. That's basically what fucking happens.
Don't they all play? They play music with the dragon though at the end, right?
I thought they killed the dragon. I don't care.
No, he plays keyboard or some shit.
They killed the dragon. They killed the dragon with music.
I thought he plays though. He plays keyboard, and then some fucking robot shit happens.
Yeah, he played the keyboard to steal the song to distort the universe.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, Matt definitely paid more attention than I did.
They end up killing him. They don't become friends. They murder him.
I don't know. He was playing keyboard. I thought it was something.
Instead of like becoming like that's how I think of Teen Titans Go, is like everyone has to become friends because they're so stupid and bubbly and retarded, stupid and like all this and I'm just like, and I'm just like, this is not good. I'm like, this is okay. The dragon's not gonna die. They're gonna convince him to be good. And there's like his character's like his dragon's color tone is just changed as like happier color and everything instead, and become friends of the unit of this dimension. But no, they murder him.
Oh,
I thought they were friends. I didn't know what was happening.
How do you feel about it?
I'm not okay with it at all. I don't like this episode. I don't like Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go is it's just at the bottom of the barrel. Like it's like they have this like barrel of like stuff, and they just reach too far down, and they just grab this mediocre thing. Like they took what we had when we were kids and made it way, way worse. That's what they did, and just didn't give it the quality, and they just ruined it. I don't know how it had a fan base. It doesn't make any sense. The characters are more annoying as hell.
They are.
Raven's not even Raven no more. She's bubbly now, and Starfire's more stupid than ever.
Yes. That wasn't part of her character with the original series. You know, she was always kind of naive, but it was like fish out of water type. And this is just like, they just made her really, really stupid.
The door now.
No reason. They're all stupid. They're all really stupid. They're all really annoying. They're just like, the show is made for kids with ADHD who can't pay attention to one frame for more than 2 seconds at a time, you know, or not even, a millisecond. It's just like this flashing colors, flashing lights. It's almost too much for my brain to comprehend what the hell was going on. And to be honest, during the second episode, I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't do this. I texted Matt. I was like, I'm done, Matt. I can't do this. And I was like, all right, I'll have this on in the background, like I'll be doing something, like I was drawing or whatever. And then like the fucking sounds of whatever was happening in the show was just so distracting for my brain to comprehend, just to even do like a simple task. Like I was like fucking up my drawings, like I would just like ruin my lines. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm turning this off. And then I put on Fantasia. I was like, okay, I need some calm orchestrated music to balance out my brain from all this noise and nonsense. And I was like, why is this 4 parts? I wanted it to be one.
On HBO is 4 parts.
I wanted it.
People.
Why was it so long? There's so much. I just wanted, like, I could tolerate like 1 episode, but this was just too much. I was like, oh my god.
You only watched a half of an episode. That's literally it. You watch a half of an episode.
No, I watched an episode and then a half. I watched an episode and a half.
No, but the thing is, okay, HBO Max is doing it stupid. It's really, those are 2 episodes. That's like a halfway marker thingy.
I don't know. It sucked. And then I watched the rest today. And then I just couldn't.
Oh, you poor soul!
I had it on the on TV, and then I was just watching behind the scenes of Tron because I was trying to figure out how they made the movie. I said, "Fuck this! I just want to know how they made Tron." So I technically did have it on. I did watch it, but like I was more focusing on like the main event what we're gonna talk about. I was just like, this show.
Oh no, that's priceless.
I'm sorry, Jerry. I did technically watch it.
So when I
That
picked this, I hoped you guys would enjoy the alternate universe aspect more.
Yeah, the
because it's
artistry was cool. I'll give you that.
like
I'll
the
give you that.
artistry for it, and
Yeah.
more so how just visually stunning it was. Because it was like, man, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
in an HD remaster of an 80s video game now. So I was like, maybe they'll enjoy this and a couple of the songs and get a good laugh out of CeeLo Green and Fallout Boy. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, it's pretty tolerable and I like this. And then, I watched it a few more times. I'm like, once you separate it from Teen Titans Go, this was actually, for me, this was actually something. It was like, it poked fun at the fact that everyone talks about how low brow and low budget they mainly look like. And now you have all of them look like they're from like a post-apocalyptic, futuristic, cartoon movie, just anything. And then when I saw CeeLo Green Fallout Boy, I was like, what is CeeLo Green doing here? He hasn't done anything, as far as I know, in years.
They made him look gross.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I didn't rate his animations for him. Bye, Josh.
Yeah, because I'm not a big CeeLo Green fan. I was like, okay, I'm getting a couple of laughs out of this. Nothing, too serious. Seeing Fallout Boy was kind of cool. I was like, oh, I haven't heard Fallout Boy since they put out that one album like 6 years ago. So I was like, oh, that was nice to know they're still together and doing things.
Yeah, I haven't heard from the artists in so long. That's why it was like so weird to see him in the show. Like,
that's what are they actually?
I
was really saying this to Jerry. I'm like, they have no point of being in this because they're not even up to date. What's going on?
No, I'd rather see them though than like I don't even know who's like popular.
I know it's just a weird choice. It's just weird choice.
It was an interesting choice, especially for like a younger crowd. Obviously, this show is intended for like babies. So like I don't even know if they know who Fall Out Boy are.
One thing that I really did like a whole lot is how much of like DC characters and just DC itself they threw in the episode, because they showed Aragon in one scene, a Red Lantern ring, and then not to mention every mention from the fucking 80s, from Mask to Voltron to the soundtrack visuals. Just so much of it was like, man, let's take things back to the 80s when it was a simpler time, it was a more fun time. And that's when I haven't watched a lot of sci-fi 80s movies, but I want to say that's, when special effects really started taking that next notch up.
I'm just going to say this. Jerry, you paid more attention than anyone else in this episode.
I 100%
paid the most attention. I only paid attention when we went to the 80s universe, and I gave up. I gave up on everything else.
I gave up after an episode and a half. I was like, episode.
I will say this: they did make a second one, but the second one is just solely focused on them being in the universe.
I'm just gonna get rid of this now.
Because I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll recommend this one, but I was like, no, because if I do this one, then you wouldn't understand how they got to that point, and
Do we get Scully Dragon? Do we get Scully Dragon?
No, you actually get somebody a little more badass than the dragon, in my opinion.
It's a fucking dragon.
I did think the dragon's design, like out of everything in that universe, like the design of even like each character looked really cool. And I thought the dragon looked super simple and just like basic, like for what the universe was going for. I wish they made it more hyper detailed, like all the other characters. I thought the dragon looked like it could have been in their universe because their universe is so simplified. And
why do you think he was trying to steal that song, man, and take over that dimension? He was basic. He was basic wrong. He was trying to get back.
And then one more interesting tidbit piece of information that I didn't even pay attention to until like I rewatched it. And I paid like hyper focus to.
Wow.
So in like the
I give you credit.
third episode, so in like the third episode, when the band gets together and they're going back, the guy who plays the drums, like if you notice on his helmet, the style of it, it's almost an exact copy from Daft Punk when they were making their Discovery
Oh,
album.
that's cool. Okay.
And it even had like the text, flow through the mask. I was like, wait a minute, because I had to rewind a couple of times. I'm like, that's the fucking Daft Punk mask, because he even plays the drums like the second member of Daft Punk. I can't remember their names because they're French, and the only French I know is Omelette du Fromage from Dexter. But we're not talking about Dexter. We're talking about Teen Titans Go: The Night Begins to Shine special. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. And it made me sad because, Daft Punk just separated and broke up last year. And I was like, wow, now I got depression. Thanks.
Depression.
Oh, man.
But I'm curious to know, what did you guys think about the 3 songs that BER did? Because obviously the first one was The Night Begins to Shine, obviously. The second was Forever Mine, which is how they got back to the universe. And then the third one was at the end when they fought the dragon. It's called...
They fucked the dragon? Oh my god. Sorry. I misheard that.
Oh my god! I can't show anymore. No.
I'll let Matt.
This isn't Shrek.
No, you don't want that, Josh.
I'll let Matt take this one. Go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead, Matt.
I didn't even pay attention. I really didn't pay attention. I like the music. I didn't even pay attention to the lyrics at all. And I just kept on saying, it's like, is BER a real band? Because it feels like it's a band, and every time, and they are a band. I didn't know they are a band.
The actual song "Night Begins to Shine" was recorded in 2005.
Oh,
really?
Okay, that's
So it obviously wasn't made for this episode. It was just like one of their throwaway songs, or like in their back catalog.
I guess it was a throwaway song. Because then, like, after it got released, it was like in the charts at like number 23, number 8. Just it was doing very well, as far as I guess streams, listens, playbacks. However, I don't know how Billboard charts work, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that the song got really popular from the show, which is, good for the band, get them more, well known and publicity.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm with Matt. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm sorry.
It's so distracting. It's just the episodes, like, they're so distracting. Like that, I just wanted them over than anything. So I didn't. They kept on all trying to sing the first song, and I'm just like.
It was very distracting. Yeah, especially when. Yeah, when Robin was singing, and then he was like trying to be cool and say "yippee yo" or whatever fuck he was saying. I checked out.
And then nobody knew the lyrics, and Beast Boy tries singing it, and he just got worse with it too, and all his other junk. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna go watch like the Legends of Vox Machia, and because they actually have better music, original music, and I'm just gonna watch that. Instead, I had like so many. I just almost put that on a billion times.
But Crispy, at the very end, they had the duo Puffy Amiyumi sing. The people who sung the original Teen Titans intro do their version of it.
Did they?
Yeah, at the very end.
I just turned it off. I'm done. Yay.
Oh, so did they do the song during the credits? Is that when they did it, or when the dragon was playing piano or whatever?
They did it like at the very end, I guess, during the credits.
That's a waste. That's bullshit.
That is a waste.
I would have, instead of CeeLo Green, I honestly would have liked to have them in the episode. I would have been like, oh, that would have been cool to have them featured.
It would have made more sense if they got rid of CeeLo Green or they got rid of Fall Boy. One of the two.
Get rid of CeeLo Green. We don't too much care about CeeLo Green.
Dude, he became a mechanized polar bear robot, like polar bear man.
That was only terrifying because we have polar bears running around in Minecraft.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you had one. I had running around in Tennessee. I was like, what the fuck?
No, God.
No. Climate change hit.
We have a lot of fucking armadillos.
That's cool.
Yo, speaking of armadillos, I literally just saw a video of an armadillo swimming, and I'm like, I didn't know they can swim. They can swim, man.
I thought they were swimming and just got hit and died on the side of the road.
No, I literally was just watching this video, and it's like two wave boarders are just like paddling out, and out of nowhere you see this thing just paddling, and I'm like, I thought it was like a little dog, and like, oh my god, and like the description is like, oh, I thought it was like a lost dog at sea, like someone like it fell off someone's boat, and then someone didn't notice, but it's just a fucking armadillo just paddling away in the freaking water.
Crazy. I
don't know where it was located. It was
in the ocean. Is it in the ocean or in a lake?
I don't know. They didn't describe that much of the scenery. You're just in the water. You're just in a big body of water.
I would assume it's a lake. It's probably not an ocean. That's interesting.
And it doesn't matter. It's swimming. That's the point. It's swimming. And I'm like, I didn't know they could swim. And I was like, damn.
That's cool.
That was more interesting than this fucking video.
Yeah. What Matt said. No,
sorry. I was so much hate for Teen Titans Go.
To be fair, I don't hate Teen Titans Go. I think I could only tolerate like one episode for.
You watched half an episode.
I watched. No, you didn't fucking listen to what I said. I watched an episode and a half. So I watched.
No, you watched an HBO Max episode and a half.
Well, that's the regular running time of a fucking Teen Titans Go episode is 10 minutes, which is the first part I watched. And then the second part I watched was half of one. So that's the standard run time is 10 minutes, okay? So I watched the standard time of an episode, of a regular streaming episode, okay? So I don't want to hear I watched whatever fuck you're claiming I watched. I watched an episode and a half, and I'm sticking with that. That's the factual.
My cheeks hurt so
much. Yeah, so I just want to read what Big Booty Danny has said. She says, to be fair, these are more of the tolerable episodes, which tolerable.
That's very true.
I guess if it was just one episode, I think I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. It was so many.
I think they could have sped like crushed it more in the one episode.
Just one episode. All I needed was one episode.
We didn't need the whole. What do we do? Where do we get the? We didn't need the CeeLo Green or the Fall Boy thing. They could have like minimized it, like to where like we can't figure out what's going on. Let's figure it out. Beast Boy gets more depressed. He goes on his adventure, and then Blog finds Billy. Meanwhile, actually, Robin and everyone's actually on computers trying to figure it out instead of just going to these freaking other people like the bands. And wasting more time trying to find those people in the midst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably.
I think they squandered what could have been a good use of the alternate dimension because the only focus was Cyborg. He was in it. But I guess they realized that in the second special, and just was like, okay, we're going to have it all happen in the alternate universe.
That's the best. That would have been easier. That'd be even nicer. Like the actual like people like are actually in the universe because they're still stuck in that universe for some reason because they can't. The song that they had, they actually lost it actual physically to themselves and like in their own mind. So they're actually stuck in their that dimension now. And still, like they came back again. They do other things, and they like some shit happened, and that they like lost the ability to remember that song again. So they had to create another song to actually do stuff. And instead, it's like we dispersed. We live in the other universe now. We have our own lives. I'm a auto body guy. I fix cars. I'm Billy.
I definitely think you guys would enjoy the second special a tad bit more, just because it's not. There's no, outside of the beginning and the Teen Titans Go goofiness, everything else is actually kind of serious.
Okay.
And you can see. I'm not going to get too much into it, just in case you guys do decide to ever watch it on just a random whim. But you do see a lot more kind of turmoil between all the Titans.
Okay. Is this second special, is this a multi-part episode, or is it just like how long, or is it just
they actually gave it a special,
or is it a special?
It's just a real special.
I think it's another 40-minute run. I don't remember, because when I watched it, they played it all at one time with no skips or breaks.
Okay.
So it aired as like a real special, like an hour-long special thing. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's on HBO Max, it's 4 episodes again. Got it.
Might be 4, it might be 3. I don't remember.
Big Booty Dandy wrote down here, every time CeeLo Green is animated series, he's either an animal or an animatic. I can't even say it. Or he's an object.
Inanimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. CeeLo Green always has weird animation whenever he's in anything.
That's why I think it was kind of weird. It was actually like him in this episode. Then they turned him into a polar bear.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in other stuff, but I haven't been really keeping up to date with newer cartoons.
It was, I think the stuff I saw him in was like more when he was popular, when he first started out, like his first 3 years.
Yeah, that's when he had more animated stuff with him.
And that's when you should do, like, when you have an artist, and you can, like, I'm going to nitpick more. If you have an artist that's popular, you grab them in the first 3 years.
At the height of their popularity, not at the decline.
Yeah. Now, when he's a judge on, like, The Voice or freaking, American Idol, whatever the hell he's doing now.
The same shit. Same fucking show.
Fucking Sebastian. No. What is his name? What is that guy's name?
I know you're talking about. Now I fucking forget his name. The fucking main one.
Simon!
Main judge. Simon, yeah.
Oh, God.
Once you said
I would actually,
Sebastian, my mind was just like thinking.
It would make it even better. It would have made that even better. They got Simon, and he just critiqued the dragon.
Yeah, I guess
if they're gonna get somebody to critique anything, it has to be Gordon Ramsay.
No, but it's not a cooking episode. It's not a cooking episode.
I guess CeeLo Green was a hot tub in American Dad and a panda in Proud Family from Big Booty Dandy.
Wait,
wow, Proud Family
was about American
forever ago. Proud Family, I like barely remember, and American Dad, I don't really watch. I just don't like Seth MacFarlane.
I don't remember. No, was it? I was hanging out with this chick the other night, and she said that.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck Dennis is talking about.
Dennis, what the hell are you talking
He's a fucking peacock. Let him fly, damn it! Let him fucking fly.
Peacocks can't fly.
But Dennis doesn't know.
Wait. So she's saying that Dennis's spirit animal is a peacock.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
Mark
I would
Wahlberg
think
from the other
you're
guys.
like more of a fucking spider monkey or some shit, some like weird gangly thing.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I mean that as a compliment. That means you're limber. You're a limber fellow.
Oh, and he says he's a panda in the reboot of Proud Family. That makes sense.
Oh,
so we haven't seen
that
him
came
yet.
out. Okay.
Is he like
Yeah,
Came out.
resurfacing through animated shows or something? Like,
I guess.
That's probably.
I guess all that money he made from his one-hit wonders finally drying up.
So
well,
should we move on to rating?
Outfits.
Let us wrap this on up because we went on a whole lot of tangents.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually have you give your thoughts and review.
Wait, you point at me. I don't know what's happening.
I'm pointing at you. Damn it! I should have flipped my shit. Now I look stupid. Fuck it, Josh, just go.
All right. I think I already basically stated that I didn't like this episode. Like the good thing, the factors I want to say that the good things that I liked about it was the animation when they went into the computer realm. I guess some of the music was pretty cool. I like the even the music when they're like running into battle, like in the computer realm, was pretty cool. It was a lot better than the music that they used in the next film that we're going to talk about. It more fit the setting, and I think in the next film, well, we'll get into that. I would probably give this. Oh man, I'll give this like a 3 out of 10. This might be my lowest rating. I'm gonna give this a 3. I don't hate Teen Titans Go. I don't like it. It's not made for me. I think the age demographic is probably like 5 to 10-year-olds. So I'm obviously above that age bracket. But for what it is, it's fine. It's a little too rampant and too loud and too distracting for my brain to wrap its head around it. So it's just too much and too constant for me. 3 out of 10.
I think that's very fair.
Okay.
Take it away, Matt.
Josh, go again.
Matt. God, I don't know who the fuck I'm pointing at. Just go.
Stop pointing. Just stop it. You're done. It's been done 3 episodes ago.
I still like to point, damn it.
I thought you've been doing that as a joke this whole time. I thought it was a joke.
Kind of, sort of, because when you were like, oh, you pointed to Crispy, I'm like, oh, I can kind of just.
Oh my god, my face hurts.
Oh,
my face literally hurts. Oh, I need to fix my face.
Talk. Say something.
Okay, I was saying things. Okay, so with this episode, I agree with the 80s. I love the 80s parts, and that's it. And they can't. They wait. To me, they wasted a lot of time with the nonsense. Yeah, this show is meant for like 5 years old to like 10 kids. Like that's we're not supposed to be watching this show. It's too dumb for us. And I feel how our parents felt when we watched our stupid shows, and they're like, "What the fuck are they watching?" And I'm like,
"Yeah."
Now I want to ask my dad like how he felt when we watched actual Teen Titans. So,
but that was
like Teen Titans had heart back in the day,
and it had a story.
Yeah, they actually
actually had overarching characters, and there was something going on in a plot.
I know, but our parents have a different feel. But so going back to this fucking
they like Speed Racer where they move fucking 2 frames,
This gave people bath salts, and that's what they did with this.
Yeah.
God damn it. So like it's just like I can't like the 80s is like the 80s part. Like I said, it's good. I enjoy that stuff. Outer universe of 80s is terrible. My favorite character, probably, I would say, is Cyborg. It's literally Cyborg. He's been my favorite since
the
Teen
most
Titans
serious.
original. Yeah, he can bounce back and forth without having really. How often do we really had a problem with like Cyborg's character just saying like "fuck you" to the group? Everyone has in the Teen Titans. Cyborg did it to do something. Actually, in the older series, he did it as a plan to get like an intel or something on a villain stuff. Jared, he joined the party, but like no, yeah, he's like probably my favorite in this episode, and still as a Titan in general. Yeah, the music, the beats were good. I did not listen to the lyrics, so I can't really judge the music that much. But the instrumentals was good. Rating, I'm with Josh. I'm not going higher than a 3. I can go lower than a 3, but like the 80s quality saved it, and having the little here and there, like little catch, like can you catch this thing or catch that in like the 80s universe, like fucking Cyborg's Optimus Prime, like what the fuck? He gets to be a good character and a badass robot too. What the fuck?
He called himself Cyborgimus Prime.
Yeah. Yes. And he has the right to do so. So yeah, there's so much 80s references in that universe. It's not even funny. Me and you did go down a tally. We got to like over 15 to 20 references that we noticed the most.
Yeah, well, I'll explain it when I give my review, which I guess I should probably go ahead.
That's your turn. Save this video. It's up to you.
So I definitely have the more positive review since I've watched this a lot, and then I watched the second one. Definitely, the more you watch it and the less you associate it with Teen Titans Go, for me, I definitely get more enjoyment out of it. And like we all have said, there's just a ton of 80s references. Kids these days wouldn't even notice it. Like Fallout Boy, before they turned into the Fallout bot, which is a reference to Voltron, they like some of the vehicles. There was a DeLorean, the helicopter was a reference to Miami Vice. There was the A-Team van. And even when like the vehicles got the weapons, that was a throwback to Mask. So I think for this episode, they definitely were like, let's give something to the people who are going to recognize this. Maybe not immediately, but they'll stop and think about it. Definitely the alternate dimension is the highlight because that's where you get more of the vivid art. You have all of the different sounds from the battle music to even the composing music from BER to, I guess, Fall Out Boy and CeeLo Green when they did their singing, which was okay, I guess. Definitely, if anybody decides to watch it, like, oh, I'm gonna watch it again, don't go in thinking like you're gonna get the Teen Titans. Go in thinking you're gonna get a bunch of stuff from the 80s, which obviously you are, but just give it less association with, I guess, like Josh said, this ADHD show. Because they definitely bounce all over the place. I'm gonna give it a very solid 5. I don't think it could. For me, I enjoyed the second one more because there was more time in the alternate universe and less time in their crappy universe. But it's definitely very solid with what they were aiming to do. And I think they executed it to the best of their ability on the first go round. And they have some pretty good music. I liked it.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, I couldn't see, at least myself personally, rating it higher than a 5. I think maybe with a rewatch, I would give it a high rating, maybe, but I don't see that happening.
It definitely took me like 2-3 watches because I was like, okay, maybe if I watch this again, not wanting it to be Teen Titans and just watch it for all of this other cool stuff, I'll enjoy it more. I totally did.
Yeah.
And now, oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I just wanted to add before we get into the Tron episode. Oh, well, not episode, movie. I was texting Matt. I was like, I was just looking up Tron stuff, and I wanted to see if there was a Tron show, and there was. And I was like, Matt, why didn't Jerry pick this? There's a Tron
he told me that. I was like, there's a Tron show? Because I had no idea it even existed.
It had
I was like,
it had like Elijah Wood. Oh man, it had like a bunch of other people. Damn, but like it had like a really stellar cast. I remember I was like blown away by just like the voice acting cast. But
maybe next time I'll recommend that in the second special.
Okay. Okay. Well, there is a second Tron movie.
We don't have to watch the second Tron.
All right. I never seen it, so I don't know. All right, go ahead, Jerry. Sorry, I just wanted.
Now we are going to get into the meteor section. We are going to discuss Tron, the original classic, and not Legacy. I guess we can save Legacy for another time. I didn't personally care for Legacy, but
we don't have to talk about Legacy.
I'll take the reins for Tron, the original classic. So this is one of probably Jeff Bridges' most well-known movies he's done. It starts off with, a disgruntled employee let go from a software development company that he produced, a lot of hit video games for, and a coworker claimed credit for, and was like, no, these are my ideas, and he's just trying to pass them off, let them go. And then he invented a control program which was slowly gaining intelligence and hacking into other networks and trying to go bigger and badder within itself. And then there's two other developers. I don't remember their names. Alan and Laura. That's it. And they go approach Jeff Bridges as Flynn saying, hey, we know you've been trying to hack into the mainframe. How about you cut it out? He's like, no, because, Pencil Dick is claiming my work is his own. And so I'm going to prove it and get him canned. And so they break, I guess, technically into the headquarters so he can find his evidence. And then that's when the Master Control Program digitizes him and takes him into the cyber universe. And there he goes on a very crazy adventure through different softwares and just different coding, I guess is the proper word. And along the way, he meets Tron and Yori, the AI counterparts of his human friends, and they work together to defeat Sark and the MCP to restore peace not only to the company that they work for, but also prevent the MCP from hacking into the Pentagon and other world-class intelligence agencies and causing God knows what kind of havoc and destruction. Dennis, Tron Legacy was that bad because it made no effing dang sense.
Wait, what? What? It wasn't that bad. What are you talking about?
Teen Titans Go?
He's talking about Tron Legacy.
Oh, baby.
It's the only good thing about it was the effects and the fact that Daft Punk did the whole soundtrack.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Because, all right, I got to say, the soundtrack to this fucking sucks. It's like, it doesn't fit the universe at all. I guess it would fit like some other, generic 80s movie. But
yeah,
there's no synths, especially the time of the 80s. The 80s was all about their synthesizers and all this electronic beats and all that. They don't use any of that. There's no new wave music. and that's a height
that
of the,
was
the
that was
19.
the peak of the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
they don't use
I
any
can't
of
think
that
of
stuff.
one 80s song that didn't have at least 2 synths, because when the synthesizers first came on the scene, everybody went crazy with them.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. Like the soundtrack. I mean, it's like an okay soundtrack, but it's not. It doesn't fit this movie.
Not the best, but it's okay. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this whole like movie, all the sound effects were all generic sounds anyway. Like you got
And this
all
is
kinds.
fucking Disney doing this. So
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that they let it just kind of not flop, because it did do well.
It made
Because it had a budget of 17 and it made 50. And then, it inspired so many things afterwards. But Disney labeled it a flop. And I'm like, that's very weird, because I remember playing the light cycle like app on my phone for like hours a day. I'm like, oh yeah, this was from fucking Tron.
so
and
that's
all
what
the
I'm.
other games.
That's what I'm curious about.
The arcade.
Did like Light Cycle come out prior to Tron, or did it come out after the fact? Like, what was first? Was Light Cycle first, or was it Tron?
I think Tron was first.
And then they evolved the game after that. That's what I was curious about, like watching the movie. And this is 1982, so this is early 80s. So like the 80s really hadn't become the 80s yet. So the I don't know, all the lingo with all the computer stuff, like it's I don't know if that probably went over like audiences' heads, like what programming is and what I don't know, like all this like techno lingo, like some of it I don't even know what they're saying. So I can't even imagine what people thought in 1982, especially like, we have laptops, we're streaming this live right now, just using our computers, and they didn't have no one had home computers in 1982. Maybe like the richest of the rich, but nothing that substantial.
Because a lot of this movie, if you don't know coding or just
Right.
Software development lingo, you're definitely gonna fall flat on some things. Which I did, because the first time I ever watched this was when G4 was still a channel. So that should show how long ago that was. And I've been, I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, what was that movie that I watched on G4 all those years ago? And then I finally found like this extensive list of all the movies they ever played. I was like, that's it, because it's the computer movie.
Okay, I got a question. You said Light Cycle, right?
Yeah, Light Cycle, Light Bike, however it's worded.
So it's a sub game, actually. It's funny. So it came out the game Tron came out after it was inspired by the movie that Walt Disney made and everything. It's distributed by Bally Midway in 1982. The game had 4 sub games inspired by the events that happened within the motion picture.
So they made the games after.
They made the game after.
Huh, that's really interesting.
It was put out. Yeah, it was put out in 1982. Then it got researched. Like it came back in Tron Legacy 2010.
So going back to Tron Legacy, Dennis is referring to the movie. He said, "By no means it was a perfect movie, but it was an entertaining movie enough for me." Huh.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
I'll give you one hand clap, Dennis. It's not a loud hand clap, but it's a hand clap.
It didn't look terrible.
The only thing when you did that, I made a noise. My headphone. When you did that, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. It made a duck quack when you clapped, when you touched your hands.
But I definitely, rewatching this movie again, I definitely enjoy it a lot more than when I first did. I guess this has to have been maybe, 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because it's, now seeing like all these different effects and how they try to make it, obviously, games from the 80s. Like, okay, we got fucking asteroid, space invader type, just you move up and then you're just aiming and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, because I went to the arcade we have here like maybe 4 weeks ago with a couple of friends, and I was like, and that's what made me start thinking of Tron. And I'm like, geez, I haven't played games like this since I've watched Tron and downloaded them illegally.
Yeah. We don't condone that. We don't condone.
We don't do that. No, we don't. No.
Nope.
We don't condone piracy. But the world was a stranger time like 10 years ago. You could download anything. LimeWire.
Yeah, LimeWire.
I think Jerry has a bad memory, I think, right now. We've never done that in our lives. We never downloaded anything illegally ever in our lives. None of us. All three of us never
someone
did.
Else.
LimeWire was just talking from our friends.
Yeah. It was someone else named Jerry.
Legend.
One thing about this movie that's just always stuck with me is just how it didn't, I'm not going to say popularized, but just how just in your face they made, computers, and that's the next wave of like, oh, we have artificial intelligence that's, capable of learning and, growing past what humans can. And, we have to, create, one of the guys was like, I have a security program that would kick this thing's ass that he made, as a backup to keep it in check. So I was like, this is already sort of the building blocks that stuff, like iRobot, Terminator, and a lot of other really like just sci-fi and robot movies you could say almost stem their plot from.
Like, wasn't like Transformers what? Not Transformers. I mean, Terminator like 3 years after this, like a couple years right after.
I don't remember.
Wait, what did you ask, Matt?
Wasn't Terminator like a few years right after this?
Yeah, I think that was like 84. I think it was right before Back to the Future.
Yeah, 84.
Okay, so I was right. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with that. It makes sense that this came out prior to Terminator. I think this is like one of the. I was thinking of Terminator 2 being like the first like CGI movie. I guess like this technically might be the first CGI film. With all the
especially with how they use moving. With all the tank moving, anything, like even when they're in that river of just power and they're like, and you see like the glow from it, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And even the big one of how, Jeff Bridges got digitized by that laser thing.
Yeah, the computer getting scanned into the computer. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off like topic of like the what's it called of the graphics, but like the ship they're riding on at that point when they're riding the beams and like Jeff Bridges sticks his hand into it, like
oh yeah, the solar rail.
Yeah, the solar rail. That doesn't okay. So off topic, go back to the prequels of Star Wars. That's Attack of the Clones. Count Dooku's ship that he flies into Geosis. If I'm pronouncing that right.
I'd have to go back.
Doesn't look familiar to it.
Kinda, yeah.
Because like his folds up, that one's just all out, and like it's detached by wires, though, like cables to the space shuttle.
Oh yeah, it does look like that.
Yeah, it does look like that. Yeah,
that inspiration. I'm like, wow, okay, George Lucas got inspired by Tron making this one.
Yeah, because I know Disney. I said it before with Disney labeling this a flop, but I'm like, there's been so much inspiration to other great movies and even just vehicles. You're like, man, that looks like something that could be in freaking Tron.
Wait, okay, so What is it? What is it called in Tron? What is it called in Tron? The vehicle.
It's called like the solar rail.
Solar Rail. Okay, so I'm on the official Star Wars website of the vehicles, and it's going to show the ship. So we're going to see us for a second. We're going to show us. Okay, so the name of the one in Star Wars is the Solar Sailor. So obviously,
Yeah.
It's
was
obviously derived
inspired.
from Tron.
Yeah, it's obviously inspired by it. So Solar Sailor. So Matt, that was pretty keen on that detail.
Yeah, so that just
Well, I've rewatched that one the most, I think, out of the prequels. So that one's embedded. Including I like the design of the ship too.
I watched the second. I mean, the probably Phantom Menace the most, definitely.
I think I watched Return of the Jedi the most.
Oh well, if we're going by prequels,
it goes sequel. I mean, the original. So yeah, Return of the Jedi.
yeah, if we're going by originals, I definitely watched A New Hope the most. But anyway, I definitely felt. Yeah, I definitely felt a lot of Star Wars parallels with this movie, like how they're like infiltrating the enemy base basically within the within. I felt like that was like A New Hope when Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and again, or like trying to save the princess within the Death Star. I felt like there's some like parallels to that. It did remind me a lot of Star Wars, like watching the movie. I even got some Yellow Submarine vibes. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. Just like with some of the.
No, we're gonna watch it, and we never did.
We're gonna watch it for this podcast at some point. But but there's like these. I don't know. I think it was just like more of the coloration of all the like vehicles and everything. I think that's like the vibrant colors. That's what really remind me of that. But I definitely got a lot of Star Wars vibes. I mean, this obviously came out after.
This is 5 years after. Just looked it up.
Yeah, I don't think Empire came out. That was 83, right?
Yeah.
Empire? Okay.
Empire, I believe Empire was 83.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of
No, Empire was 80. 80.
Oh, 1980.
Empire
So
was 80.
Okay. I think Return of the
Jedi is 83. That's it.
Okay, that's what I was getting confused by. But yeah, I was definitely getting a lot of parallels with Star Wars. Well, especially with what Matt just said with the parallel with Count Dooku's ship and the solar rail. But no, it just felt like they were trying to infiltrate the ship within. It definitely reminded me of A New Hope. I don't know if you guys felt like that.
It did, but it also. I watched a lot more Star Trek because I have an aunt that's like a huge Star Trek fan. So whenever like me and my brother would go hang out with her, maybe like on the weekends or like even during when like school was out, she'd have us watch, Smallville, Star Trek, Star Wars, all the. She's really who got me into like sci-fi and comic stuff.
Yeah.
So I was watching this. I'm like, man, this reminds me of Star Trek and Stargate Atlantis. Not Stargate Atlantis, Stargate SG-1. I was like, man, this is just, like, because all the visuals and how Flynn was using like real world, like physics and quantum theory, on the solar rail. I'm like, I've seen this before in something else. Because that, it just made me think instinctively, like, okay, they've talked about this in probably Star Trek, because I think I watched a little bit more Star Trek than Stargate because I watched Stargate with my dad. But anyway, I was just like, it made me think to all these other, like, great sci-fi and futuristic movies. Mm-hmm. Not movies, TV shows. Well, Star Trek.
Was it Next Generation?
Whatever.
Referring to? Was it Next Generation that you're referring to that it reminds you of?
I think so, yeah. I don't know all the Star Treks. But I think it's Next Generation.
Yeah, that's
the Patrick Stewart one.
Yeah, that's the Patrick Stewart one.
I think that Patrick Stewart in it, from what I remember.
That's always one like I wanted to watch is Next Generation. I never really got into Star Trek, but like I only hear good things about Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that's something on my list to watch, but it takes me a while to get through TV shows, obviously. So, are you doing some shoulder shrugs?
I'm doing some shoulder shrugs.
Yeah.
But,
No, oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add the composing. Like one of the fun facts that I was reading about was the composing shots for like when they're in the computer realm. They had to do the composing. I think they filmed with 4 different cameras. They had to compose the outfits. Then they had to compose the skin texture. Then they had to compose the irises of their eyes and their teeth, and then they had to compose the glow of their suits on top of it. So that's why it almost looks like it's like rotoscoped. It looks like it's almost like animated while they're in the computer realm, just like the different frames. Because they had to almost like film it like 4 times with like 4 different components and computers. Like they had to like layer and layer on top of like each frame. So that all that work, it's just like crazy to think about what they did with just all that work. So
Yeah,
I just wanted
especially like this is. It's not. I think it's for me. This is definitely one of those cult classic movies. Like, oh, we might not have appreciated it back in the 80s, but now it's just like, thinking that like all these different, like even the props, like for when they're in the tanks and the ship and things.
I loved it when they're in the tanks. But the freaking
I'm just like, man, that just looks. I bet being behind the camera just recording, that was just fun as hell to do. Like, all right, swivel this way, swivel that way.
right.
It kind of reminds me of
exactly.
Star Wars when they use the Millennium Falcon when they're doing the targeting system when they're inside. It's like the janky targeting system they're using. It kind of reminds me of that, but the tank's a lot smoother moving. But it kind of had the same feel. Like it was like, all right, it's more like if they rotate themselves, it's gonna move. And like that's what I love that design of that of the setting for the tanks.
My personal favorite was I forget what they called the ship that Flynn used his user ability on, I guess. And he just like basically made it all come together. I was like, man, that thing is just fucking on the inside. It looks like it's small, but it's actually pretty expansive. And then you can see him like he puts his hands and feet on different things and he makes it do like, okay, if I put my hands here, it'll keep it together a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And then, once he starts losing all the blocks, he's just trying to keep everything is still and together. And he's like, oh, this is just like the arcade stick back at the cave. I'm like, this is just, he's basically playing, like he said in the beginning, he's the best at playing video games. It's like he's just in his zone, just trying to do things.
Oh yeah, that's all his house, his place is the freaking arcade. Yeah, he lives at the arcade.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of a bum.
Well, I wouldn't call him a bum. Like, well, they give him like we said, like he has a backstory. Like, he was a developer, and then now he's just a hacker, and does all his other things. Like he helped inspire, like help make games. But then now he just hacks and does other damn shit and owns an arcade place.
I mean, if it's the 80s and I own a successful arcade, I'm definitely going to expand. I'm not going to worry about trying to hack into a company because I'm a disgruntled employee because my work got copyrighted and plagiarized by someone else.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. Because the 80s is like the time for arcades. That's like it was blowing up.
Yeah, that's when you would actually make money with arcades, not like now. But
that's when you become a hacker to make money. Money.
That's what gets the movie started. Is just him trying to, reveal to the world that he made these video games, and it's funny how this video game company is like this well, obviously video games make so much money, but like they're like have like military contracts and like all this like weird stuff. And then like once you think about video game companies, like once you get money, you just make more video games. It's not like you make like, you know,
you don't just stick with what you know.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty like quaint just to think about, like, oh yeah, the video games are gonna take over the world. But that's what gets the plot of the movie going, is just him trying to infiltrate the information from the computer of the company that he was fired from, that to reveal to the world, oh yeah, I did make these video games. And like that guy who claimed that he did is like the president or whatever, the vice CEO, and is making, it seems like, millions of dollars. So I think he just wants, you know, some of that money. Yep. And he does eventually get it at the end of the movie. He's like flying around in a helicopter, and it ends so awkwardly. It's like a very awkward ending because he's like hugging the two friends of his, like the coworkers, help him infiltrate it. And
that's something else that bothered me.
The movie just ends. I'm like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, and right before that, you know, Flynn's in the computer world, and he's kissing on Yori, and then Yori kisses on Tron. I'm like, what kind of fucking triangle is this?
She kisses both of them,
and it's not like Alan and Flynn, you know, hate each other's guts. They obviously have, you know, some kind of rivalry, but nothing to warrant that. I'm like, what the hell? And he just kissed her so unpronounced. I'm like, bro, this is a computer simulation. What are you doing?
Yes, he took it.
He took a chance and definitely basically committed suicide. But like after that, when she kissed Tron, it seemed like Tron didn't know what that was. Like that was his first time, you know, having that interaction, like that human touch, like a kid.
Yeah,
that's not what a program do.
Just like this
so is like he introduced them to kissing, I guess. But yeah, it is kind of weird. Like how like immediately after the fact she kisses both of them,
and right after that, we're all just hugging. Like you didn't just indirectly have a kiss with an ex-girlfriend, and now you're like, okay, I'm fucking Daddy Warbucks. I'm got my helicopter in an hour.
Yeah,
whatever happens in the digital world happens in the digital world, and that's what happened.
That's what was confusing, because like the characters, like you see Tron in the video game realm, and then what's the girl's name? What was the girl's name in Laura? Was it
Yori?
Like that?
It was Laura in the real world, and in the computer, Yori.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna say Laura because that's too confusing. So yeah, like they had their counterparts in the video game, and at first, when I first saw them both together, I was like, "Oh, how did they get into the computer world with Jeff Bridges?" And then I was just like kind of confused, and then I realized, oh, they were the versions of like their AI, I guess. And then like when Jeff Bridges, it's like the setup of this movie just doesn't make any sense. The world building, like it doesn't really reel you in. Like gradually, you almost got to pick up the pieces and like know what the fuck is going on. Especially in 1982, like when computers are like such a brand new thing. And me in 2022, you know, fucking, I don't know I didn't even know what's going on with this, because like they don't really set it up right. And like Jeff Bridges is playing the video game, and then you get sucked in to the video game realm, and then it's just like his AI is Jeff Bridges, and then it dies, and then actual Jeff Bridges gets sucked into the video game, and it's just like confusing and convoluted, and you're like, who's the real one? Who's the fake one? Are they sucked in? Are they not? You know, is Laura in here? Is Tron the fake guy or the real guy? And then it doesn't really cut between Jeff Bridges being inside the computer world and like the two real characters, Laura and I forget the Tron's user's name. I forget his Alan. Yeah, like Laura and Alan like running around trying to like figure out what's going on, like trying to get the information from this company, seeing if, Jeff Bridges is, right with this information that he made all these games. Like it doesn't even cut back and forth. It's just like, all right, once he gets sucked in, just fuck them, forget about them. It doesn't even matter what the hell they're doing. I thought it would have like cut back and forth, like trying to see like them actually reacting to Jeff Bridges, like getting sucked into the video game and them figuring out like, oh, he's in the computer. We got to go in there to get him out. And there was none of that. It was just like their computer versions of themselves are automatically in the program, figure it out, just coincidentally.
Yeah. That's something else that confused me. How in the hell were their AIs just so into each other? If they're just, computer code, it's not like they wrote in, you are
Sims
deeply attracted. You're deeply fueled for,
whatever. Tron edition, Sims Tron. This is the first and ever Tron Sims game. That's how it went.
Crispy, shut the hell up.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It didn't make any sense because, when I saw Tron and fake Laura, whatever, computer Laura, and she's like working on her like programming, she's like in that robotic state, and then like he kind of snaps her out of it. I thought that was like, oh, she got sucked in the computer, and then she's like, her brain got all fucked up and she forgot where she was, and then she was just going with the program. But no, she was just a program, Yeah. So it doesn't really set the world building up so well. You almost got to just figure it out. Like, oh, this is this person. This is not the real person. This is the program version, and this is real Jeff Bridges. Even though we showed fake Jeff Bridges in the beginning, getting disintegrated or whatever. Like it's just like very confusing. This movie, just how it's set up. And it's a great movie to go to bed to. I'll tell you that, because I fell asleep to this movie twice trying to watch it.
Right.
Yeah, I was watching it last night, and then I got like 20 minutes and I fell asleep. Oh shit! I woke up like 40 minutes in. I rewinded to where I left off, and then I fell asleep again. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to bed now.
It's definitely a slow paced movie.
It's a very slow burn, and I do appreciate it, and I dislike it at the same time, because I do like how it's showing like the vast landscapes and stuff, and I think I more appreciate this movie than I like it. But yeah, like from the technical aspect of it, like I more appreciate that, but like it's just so slow, and like I almost was more interested in like what was going on outside of the computer realm, like the main CEO was like gonna take over.
I was expecting more from him.
Yeah,
I was like, he had just had a program he developed threaten him. Where's like the urgency from him? Like, send me everybody with Group 7 clearance. We need to have an emergency meeting.
Yeah,
just kind of something like that. But he was they were very hands off with him. I was like, I kind of wanted more, because he was definitely the antagonist who could have turned into maybe a helpful side character.
Something. There could have been some. Like he was the only connection between like the main computer helm, who was the red-faced guy. I don't even know what his name was. The main dictator within the computer program, and like him, like he was the only like real. He was a real world connection between that tie, and they didn't really do anything with it. And there was a lot of weird, like religious, like aspects of this movie. Like they're talking about like the users and how like the users are basically gods. And
I guess if you're if you don't know any better, it does make sense. But it was still very weird, especially when Ram died, because he was like, "Oh, users." Thank the users, because you can replace users.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh God, thank you, God." He was like,
"Yeah,
yes, I finally met my maker. He's everything I wanted him to be: helpful, smart, maybe a little bit of a prick, and just just there in my last moments, so I'm not here by myself. And I'm like, it's not uncomfortable, but for a sci-fi movie, it's
Yeah,
definitely an interesting plot device, I guess you could say.
I almost like it, and I like it, but I wish they like dove into it more a little bit. I don't know. It's like they almost kind of just
Give us
touched
more
upon
back.
it.
I
Yeah,
like it in the respect how Tron did it because everybody was like, that's Tron. He believes in the users. So, obviously to him, he's interacted with, Alan at some point. So he knows who his user is because he felt him calling him. And he was like, I have to go. I can feel Alan 1 calling, which I guess you could say is religious for, oh, I'm going to the light at the end of the tunnel, or I'm going on the next, I'm getting the next message from God and whatnot. But even still, when Tron found out that Jeff Bridges was a user, he wasn't just just bowing down and worshiping him. He had a respect for him, which he obviously had earned along the journey. But he still was, very, what happened to Flynn? Where is Flynn? With urgency, not only as a comrade, but he's like, I'm finally getting a chance to be face to face with the user. I'm never gonna forget this.
yeah. I like that character, the one who passes off. Like I almost like this character more than everyone else. I don't know why. Like he was just willing to do whatever, like to follow Tron. He's like, yeah, this is the guy to follow. He knows what's up, and he was like kind of like dicking around like with Jeff Bridges when he's in the cell with everyone. He's like, oh yeah, you'll just feel like that. I don't know. He almost felt like the most like human out of all the programs, but then he like dies like halfway through. I don't know. I like this character. I wish there was a little bit more to him.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think? You've been very quiet for a while.
Hey, I'm just leaving it be with you guys because I did a lot during the freaking short.
I think we all talked
hear my
during the short.
No, I I kind of chimed in with hearing things like no, but I do like what you guys are talking about. I no, my headphone just died. I think
What?
that's good. I lost my headphone.
Okay.
No, let's see. Will this one activate?
Oh my god.
Okay, there we go. No, my headphone decided to die in my right one, even though it's fully charged. But but no, like the Tron movie with me was like it's a good set. I like the scenery. I like how you basically say like I like everything, but the story is kind of like lackluster.
Yeah.
It's just really
Yeah.
it's very lackluster. And we were literally having a discussion last night with Jimmy, our friend Jimmy, last night, and he's like, it's a good movie, but the story is nothing. There's nothing to the story to actually give you anchors to actually perform, like you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like in some points, you're basically trying to become Sherlock Holmes in this movie while you're watching it.
Yeah, it depends on the pieces for sure.
And the thing is, like, that's nice about us now watching this movie. We can go on the internet and look it up or try to figure something out and see what the lore, like, people made lore of that's actually canon to this universe. And back then, you're definitely you're clueless bastards if you're back in the 82.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%.
That you're a clueless bastard. You definitely are clueless. But like, it's just like, I can see where they're going, and it's like it was such an early stage of like doing this. It definitely was a super early stage of doing it, like we were talking about. But like, it's like I think there's like because like what was the budget for this movie?
17 million.
So like like so it's like I feel like they spent more money on the interverse of the world, computer world, that they could because if we do office stuff, we film less office stuff, it makes us have a more of a budget for the computer world that would give us because we're probably going to need the more budget for the computer verse. because it's like what you said, you had to film it 4 freaking times, and that's even amazing because that's freaking robot. That's freaking autopilot. Like that's not even autopilot. I mean, that's crazy getting someone to do the same thing identical 4 times in a row. It's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I think
unless they played with the film.
layer on layer.
Yeah, I agree a lot with what Matt just said.
It's just like I don't think, including what like I don't blame Disney for giving it like a low budget because it's such a far-fetched kind of idea. It's kind of like technically a kind of like a new thing, and they didn't know where it was going to go. So why not give it a low budget? I'm not going to give you $50,000 to make $50 million to make a freaking movie that I don't even know if it's gonna make it because this is a different idea than usual.
Yeah, this isn't even that big of a budget, even for like back then. I mean, it's like a modest budget. It's like it's about half the budget of Ghostbusters, which Ghostbusters came out 2 years after Tron. So just to give you a gauge of what the inflation costs are, but it's still not an immense budget.
Even still, within saying that, I think they definitely executed everything the best with what they had. Yeah, I mean, it grossed. I'd say like 2.2 more than what the budget was because it made 50 million in box office, and then that's not including the toys and everything else that came after Tron that you could include it with Tron.
But the fun thing is like now that we do that, they had that do that quick budget, like with the low budget, they had to do some quick certain ideas of make things work with this movie. It feels like I don't know, we need to watch the behind the scenes to get more of this, but like once they put out Tron Legacy, and that's when we're gonna go to this movie. This is when they try to do more building blocks because they didn't have to do all that tactical stuff at all because you just did CGI and they didn't do all the different color toning. They just had you in like standard outfits that had the vibrant color to it and like whatever you needed. They didn't, and they gave it more of a new upgraded texture to it too because you're in like battle outfits. I kind of felt like than anything else, and the discs were properly more like a different design, but like, and this so like if you think about Tron Legacy did like give you more of like a fix up with this like background of what kind of things are happening.
A story.
What like a story, yeah. And like Jeff finds out like it's weird because I kind of wish there was like a second movie of Tron now I'm thinking of it, like because we were talking about how it breaks down, like it just stops. Then we don't have any other information from 1982 to 2010, other than if you read comics or story like novels that they made like Tron to get any new background story. And we just did a giant jump to Jeff Bridges has a son and he got sucked into an arcade game. Like Jeff Bridges is like legacy, actually, like he was a leader. Then he made a secondary him to help him run the universe because he didn't want to have all that responsibility. Then the other him grew bigger and became like the master computer, the super dick, and all this other stuff. So you actually got more of an idea. You got more build in that because like they had more because they had the first movie, but we never got the second movie, like another movie that kind of like built in like how Jeff Bridges is like slowly becoming the leader, or how many like him making small little or like a little mini series, like a TV show, like of him like 1 season or 2 seasons of him building blocks of Tron. That would have been a nice little add to it, kind of off ramp. You kind of
go the lore. I mean, that's very well placed because the second one definitely does have the better world building and storytelling from what I remember, like you said.
That's what I heard about that.
Yeah, I remember it was a lot. better storytelling, but like it was so open-minded because now you have in the second movie you have a child that doesn't know his fucking father that much. He knows him as a deadbeat piece of shit that doesn't do much for his family. But he had an arcade still. So yeah, that's
And I'm surprised that arcade was still there given the modern times, because this is just really super off subject. But in 2010, the arcade that I went to and played pinball at fucking closed up. And I was pissed off because I was so close to setting a record on my usual machine. And I was like, well, now I can't fucking do it. And I'm pissed off.
yeah. But like the thing is, like we get from Jeff Bridges' like character, he becomes more like wealthy, so he has the right to keep his arcade open. So he had back funding to it, even though he disappeared for a couple years. So like, there's no actual money flow other than auto deposit that was kind of like a thing at that time.
I mean, back when this came out, Disney wasn't really the high, roller that it is today. Like back then in the 1980s, they were actually going into decline. They were like basically one of the lowest rated studios that was coming out at this time. Like they had like really no great films that were coming out of the 1980s. You had to wait till the 1990s where Disney actually caught their stride back again. But after Walt Disney died, they didn't really know what to do with their company, and they were just kind of struggling and just like shooting at like whatever sticks basically. And they were like, "Oh yeah, Tron's a different idea. Let's try this." And I guess it did make money, but it wasn't substantial enough to really make a franchise until 30 years later for some reason.
So like 28 fucking years later.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. It was an interesting gamble that they took, and I'm glad they did it because it's such an interesting movie. Like it's a movie that you wouldn't see today. That's obviously like a risk taking film. Like I don't see Disney taking really any risks at today at 2022.
No, they're playing as safe and close home as they can, and if they're going to take a risk, they're going to absorb the company they want to take the risk in, so there's at least a fallback.
Yeah. So they'll have the company take the fault for it, but I think it's I admire this movie way more than I like it. Like we said, I think the story's a little lackluster, but just how the landscape is with everything and the technology that went into this movie and the planning is probably the most interesting. I was watching a documentary about behind the scenes. You could just find it on YouTube. I think it's on the Blu-ray too. I almost feel like I get more out of watching that than the movie itself, Yeah. I'm glad I watched the movie just to know what they're talking about, but I'm more interested in the making of the film than the movie,
Yeah. I think this is a good point to go ahead and kind of wrap up. Josh, I know you've definitely said a lot. Oh, go ahead, Crispin.
Got one more thing. It's in my head, like pondering my head. It's more a side thing. Hey, Josh, remember Ready Player One?
Yes.
You know the main guy, like the main corporate guy that kind of like is trying to fuck up everything.
Okay.
The guy that like runs the company in Tron kind of reminds me of him, but more of a lackluster. He doesn't do that much because he lets his master computer do all the work for him.
Yeah, I mean his AI version of him does more. I could see the parallel with that.
Yeah. It kind of gives me that like feel to it, but like his outer body, him is not running more of a rampage and like the other guy and like Ready Player One. His guy was more rampaging outdoor than in the game universe.
Off the seventh sector or whatever it is, and that's like really the most he does in the movie. And then he's just like, he's found out that he's a hack and that Jeff Bridges made the video games, and then that's it, really. Yeah. With his actual counterpart, the computer counterpart has a lot more to do. Just like basically all the computer counterparts has more to do, except for Jeff Bridges, who's the same as he is in the real world, but his computer counterpart that he had in the beginning of the movie dies. So it's fucking confusing.
Yeah, and another thing is, Josh, instead of Teen Titans Go, would you all like to watch the episode of South Park when they did the Tron episode?
I don't even remember that. When was this?
They made it like I think a few 8 years back, I think.
It's called You Have Zero Friends.
Oh, with Facebook?
Yes.
Is it the Facebook one?
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
Facebook one.
I kind of remember it now. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably
Would you rather watch that one?
enjoy that. Yeah, I'd rather watch that or the actual
Tron series.
the actual Tron show. That would have been cool. But whatever, that's fine. No,
I just want to know your feel on that. See.
no, I
Crispy, I just want you to know you're fucking dirty for that one. I'm gonna find something just to spite you with.
You already did. You already hurt me.
I mean, you're both of us with this one. So.
I know, he did like 2 critical hits in one shot. God damn it.
Snake eyes.
That's why we have our own picks, because we don't know what the hell we're gonna watch. You know? All right, Jerry. Jerry, take it away. Take it away, Jerry.
I think this is a good place. We've definitely talked about all the things we enjoyed, wished we could have got more from Tron. So I think this is a good place to give final thoughts and reviews. I'll take it on this one. I definitely, like Josh said, the idea for Tron was to me, it was the Matrix before the Matrix was ever even a conceivable thought. It's obviously the story didn't, the plot didn't give you much to go with, but all the scenery, like I said before, this makes me think of Star Trek because, of how they're incorporating all these, new and very, unheard of ideas with quantum physics, all these different theories and things. And then also how we've discussed the landscape. I'm like, this reminds me so much of fucking Matrix because, Jeff Bridges as a user, he's able to do things the programs can't do. And like how everyone fears being de-rezzed, which is symbolic of dying. He's like, oh, let me bring you back with a touch of my user ability. And everybody's like, well, how the fuck did you do that? I definitely think, I'm not going to say they caught lightning in a bottle, but they definitely had a lightning rod in place to bring the idea down, but couldn't quite hit the mark on certain things. I have the dislikes I have, it's not, obviously it has to do with the plot, not necessarily the story and, just a few scenes. But outside of that, I think the movie was well executed for the budget it had, the cast it had, and also everything else it inspired, honestly, afterward. And second viewing of this, obviously having watched The Matrix and several other video game and, different dimension and world saving ideas of that nature, I definitely give this movie a solid 7.5. I'm leaning closer to an 8, especially with this second viewing and how, both of you have led me into all these other thoughts that I didn't have, coming into this episode. So I might bump it up to an 8 on the third viewing. But, right now, I think a solid 7.5 is pretty fair. I'd recommend anybody watch it if you want to see, this was the Matrix before the Matrix.
That's fair.
Oh,
do you want to go, Matt, or I don't
next.
care? Okay. Yeah.
I agree with things with Jerry. I haven't seen this movie in freaking years. I think when I even watched it originally, I watched part of it, not even all of it. So it's a fragment. I think I missed the part when Jeff Bridges actually gets sucked into the computer. And what's it called? Like, it's weird watching. To me, it's weird actually. I never really seen like I haven't really seen a lot of younger Jeff Bridges movies. So me seeing the younger Jeff Bridges is kind of like off. Like I'm so used to him being like older looking, so it's just different. But I like like how we're talking about the story is so lackluster to giving us like real major. Okay, this is what's happened. That's happened. That happened. It's more scattery and all that stuff. You have to like link it all together with other fine details. You have to figure out when other people are talking properly to each other. I would say I want to read the script play to see what they had down, like what they originally, like the original screenplay of it, like to see what they're going with. I wanted to see with it before they had budget issues and budget like all the like whatever issues that happens when you make movies, where they had to start cutting things, getting rid of things, and what they had to put on the back burner until they said we can't use that anymore, and all the other stuff to actually see where we would have went with this story. I'm still shocked that Disney actually made this movie. Always thought it was like a standalone movie. I never thought it was a Disney product. I thought it was just like something like Columbia somebody made up. What's it called? I liked more like we're all talking about like all the graphics. I love the design of like that their colors are so different. Like they have like it's more of a blue tint to most of the people, and they're always like their neon lights are on them. I always like that part. Like in like the computer realm, it's really the best thing. Like it's actually the best part of the movie, seeing all that and basically space in computer world. So that actually caught my eye a lot. Like you guys were talking about the not the ocean, the river scene, the water river scene. Like,
Yeah, after they escape and they're drinking the energy from the, I guess, like a flow.
Yeah, that actually I like that scene a lot too. But I do my favorite scene out of all of it was probably when they're on the solo rail. I do like I mentioned like I like the tanks a lot. I love this the style like what the rig they made up for it. I like the rig, but like, if it's gonna be an actual scene, I like the part when they're on the solo rail a lot because you have like all this other like it's just space, but like other shit's happening and all this other stuff. And like the design of the ship is awesome and kind of draw me to Star Wars. But I would go with for me, I would go with this with like I'm between a 7 and a 7.5. So I did try to do a second viewing, and then I just never picked it up from last night. I don't know what happened, but I do. No, I didn't. I didn't fall asleep. I was watching it. I was on a treadmill for at the gym, so I was like, I don't want to watch whatever they have on the TV, so I'd just rather watch Tron again thing. And then I was in a meeting all day at work, so I couldn't finish it at work because we are slow. But yeah, I give it I'm between a 7 and a 7.5 for this movie.
Okay.
Jared,
What am
no bogus.
I hearing?
No bogus. Is he saying bogus?
What am I hearing?
That's
You're hearing my brother.
Oh,
Is he saying bogus?
Well, yeah.
We'll discuss that after the podcast.
So I just wanted to go off what Matt was saying with the like the story planning of it and like what they originally intended to be. From what I watched from the documentary, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I just kind of like skipped through information. I would like to watch the whole thing.
That is the screenplay. Don't tell me that's
no. Well, it seems like with the storyboards, they planned out like each individual shot and had everything like tightly fit on exactly what they're going to do because they almost had to plan out everything from like every storyboard with every shot with every frame because they're going to do all this composing and compositing with the light bikes and the suits and the backgrounds and the tanks. So they almost had to plan out everything. So this is basically what they originally had planned. This is I don't think they really went off track on budgetary reasons or anything like that. I think this is what they planned and this is what we got. So I don't think we could really excuse that to be a factor.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys the documentary if you guys want to check it out.
I actually do want to see that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I want to actually go through it and watch the whole thing. I was just kind of like watching bits and pieces. The like I with Jeff Bridges, I could like watching this movie. I could see how the Coen brothers like got him to play the dude in The Big Lebowski because he's just like so like kind of out of it, and he's like, yeah, man, whatever, he keeps like saying man like throughout the movie, and he just kind of seems like nonchalant in the beginning, like, oh, I just opened this door, that's a big door, and like you could see like how he kind of has like a no fucks given attitude like throughout this movie, and especially when he plays the Big Lebowski, the dude in the Big Lebowski. So I wonder if the Coen brothers watched this and was like, yep, that's our guy, So I was just curious about that, but I could see the connection with that. The girl, I don't know her name. What's her name? Laura? I don't know. When she was wearing that suit, she looked really good in it. That suit looked really good. I just wanted to state that. It was very tight fitting, and it fit her body pretty well.
Yes,
the God,
that's it.
the God, at least yeah, someone agrees. But the God aspects of the movie are kind of interesting. It's kind of like if, like, say, like we're in a simulation, like you wouldn't technically know you're in a simulation. I guess like that's a lot of people think that we're technically in a simulation, that God is just someone else outside of the computer realm or whatever, if you want to get like super technical and super philosophical. But it just shows that like whatever you're in, even if it is a simulation or it's not a simulation, like in the realm of Tron, it still was real to them. Like when they perish, they're gone, their atoms are erased. So I found that kind of interesting. Like it kind of made me think about my own life and my own aspect. Like, if this was a simulation, would it really matter? And I guess it really wouldn't. As long as we're alive. And,
Don't get terminated.
So yeah, I just thought of that. Was there anything else I said? I wrote like bullet points, but I guess that's really all I really wanted to touch upon. Everything else I already said. You could go and listen to the podcast. I'll probably give this a 6 out of 10. If I was going to give like a rating for the technical aspect of it, and especially for the time, I'd probably give that a 10 out of 10. But on a whole, with the story and everything, I would give this a 6. It's a little bit above average. You almost have to pick up the pieces to know what's like going on. It's a little lackluster, but you do understand what's going on. But like me, like this is my first time viewing it, so I was like, who's this? Is this the real person? Is this the AI person? So I was kind of lost with that, but 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I think all of these are very fair reviews. I definitely, my first time watching this, I was thinking this movie is super mid, like, but going back, rewatching it like we just did, I was like, yeah, finer appreciations.
Yeah. You could see that there's a lot to this world to build upon. Like, I love the world. Like, there's a lot of story I feel like you could tell with this, and I love the look of it. So I feel like there's a lot of room for world building and like to stretch out like what is going on within this universe. So I feel like there's a lot of stories.
That's why I kind of wish there was like a second one, or like a second one prior to like right after the movie, like or like a mini series.
I don't know.
Okay, this movie did good for us as a movie, but I don't know if we're gonna make it for a second movie. Let's just make it like some kind of like mini series that they were doing at that time. Like they do that with a lot of things back then during that time in the 80s with the mini show series and everything. So
maybe
a Tron series, but like I kind of want to like see if like there's like they got rid of the master computer, like the red one, or if they in generally just lost master and computer in general.
Yeah,
is there like a group of people that preferred Master Computer? And
almost like a cult.
yeah, and like be like, we want him back.
Oh,
and
that's
inside would have like tried to bring him back.
That's definitely an interesting idea.
And like go crazy and like reactivate Zordon and shit. Like, but no, like,
that would have been a great second movie.
Maybe that's in the series. Maybe that's in the cartoon.
That's what I want. Like we need to watch that too now. But like it's just like that's what I want to know. Like if they're gonna like did they ever do that in any of the lore, or why didn't they try to do that with something prior of Legacy happening, where Jeff Bridges like had control of the universe, and then he's just like, I lost control because my copy just went super dick and just kicked me out everything. Basically banished me.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. I'd actually like to see that a lot more than what I'd like that as an intermediate to a Legacy, especially since it would have been still right in that time where Jeff Bridges got put as the new CEO.
Yeah, like it wouldn't. I would say if anything, don't evolve Jeff Bridges. If they did, like, just leave Jeff Bridges kind of like out of it and like have like the people inside of Tron deal with it, like in the universe. Or if you did, like, just bring in Jeff Bridges for a here and there shots and try to then like at one point at the finale, that's when Jeff comes in there for a second run of like saving the universe again, like saving the show, like the computer world. But like,
I like that idea.
That would be cool. I like that a lot. You know what? We could pitch it to Disney.
Yeah.
Then they had to retcon. No, they had to not retcon. They had to do something with Legacy.
We'll shoehorn it. We'll work out the details.
We're talking about on PlayStation.
But then it works.
But everybody, I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I want to thank my two super awesome co-hosts for always giving insightful thoughts and feelings on everything we watch. And I guess we'll be closed out now. So, unless anybody had something.
Next podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention for next episode, we're gonna do the Batman, the new Robert Pattinson starred movie. We'll do that next week, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And also a Batman short. We might do a Brave and Bold episode. I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. But some Batman short. But definitely we'll talk about the Batman. So that's next episode. And Matt's Matt's pick will be right on schedule at the same time. So nothing's going to be screwed up.
Yes. Beforehand, me and Jerry's Twitch Pro setup we have. That's still like we did with scheduling for that is scattered. So we're going to do something probably this weekend. So just stay tuned with us. We'll give you updates. Josh, you need to be on it more than just once.
I'm not going to. Yeah, I will come on. I'm not going to be on this weekend. I'll tell you that. I'm going to be pretty busy.
Okay.
Unless you maybe do it Sunday. I might be free Sunday, but that's about it.
I'm free Sunday after 5:00, so
okay. I might be busy Sunday.
Yeah, I'll give you okay, that's fair. You guys do you. I'll give you a maybe on Sunday if you guys want to do an extra or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay, let's wrap this up.
All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. This has been BatYard's Finest, bringing you everything Batman, Superman, and more to come. My name's Jerry, guiding you all with Green Lantern's light, and whoever's next, because I'm not
this is Josh. Send you off up and away until next BatYard's Finest episode.
And I'm Superman's pal Matt, and becoming super friends one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and the chat was super helpful today. Thank